Okay. So, real talk about something that we are experiencing in this age range of ours, the friends and family members who are caregivers. A lot of them aren't even thinking that way yet. You and I think about it all the time, and we talk about it all the time. And how do we get people to start thinking that way? It's no different than how do you get people to buy life insurance?
True.
You can't until they need it, and then it's too late. How do you get them to put a burglar alarm, system in? Usually they don't think about it until after they've been broken into. So it's really that same kind of mindset, but we've got to change it. And I was saying my frustration with starting a meetup group and then nobody coming, and then I end the group because it's interfering with my workload. And then I get messages that just pull at my heartstrings about people who, like this gentleman, yeah, his wife was just diagnosed with cancer. He's an elderly gentleman, and he's like, when are you having these meetings? I don't know what to do. So, and you've been living this, how long has it been now since your mom?
4 years.
Wow.
Since my mother's diagnosis.
Wow, man, that time's well, I can say on my part that it seems like it's been flying by, but for you, it feels forever.
Not so much.
Oh, wow. So just hearing the stories, I think, is what may help people. Hearing what you have to go through. I mean, with your sofa, with your mahogany table. Some of it is funny, like when you were telling me you were looking all over for your glasses.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah. Most of us at this age, we have brain farts, and we misplace our glasses, and sometimes you're looking for your glasses or even your cell phone. Have you ever been on your cell phone and you said, I gotta find my phone so I can walk out the door, and you're talking to the person, They're like, well, aren't you on the telephone?
Yeah.
So here I am looking for my glasses all day long, gotten to the point where my lenses have adjusted and I can't see distances. And I'm trying to end my day with my mom, and she was lying in the bed, and so I plunked down there with her, and all of a sudden I realized that she had my glasses on that I have been looking for all day. I don't know how the hell she saw anything because she has the same prescription I have, but she's like, well, someone gave me these glasses. Oh my gosh. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I've been looking all day.
Oh,
so yeah.
It's those moments, and it's almost like you have to laugh about it to keep from crying about it.
Yes.
The frustration.
The life of a caretaker sometimes is like a dog chasing his tail, and you never catch the tail. You just keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. And you must laugh to keep from crying. Wow. There's definitely a new meaning in my heart for something that my grandmother used to always say, once an adult, twice a child. And every day I'm reminded that I have this grown child in my house.
The only difference now is that they have the attitude of either
I can do it.
Yeah, and the thing also that you mentioned about the house, like, this isn't my house. I don't feel right. I need to be in my own house. Or how dare you tell me what to do because I'm the parent. That's the one little element that we didn't have raising our little.
I will always be her baby. She will always look at me, and she's never, ever. Gosh. One thing I know, your parents, and they're not the gentlest beasts before this, it's going to be a journey. A good one, you get to laugh, because you have to laugh at yourself. Yeah. You think back on some of the memories, some of the things you've taken your parents through. When my mother takes me through it now, I'm like, oh no.
They weren't kidding when they said, one day. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, and the time you were looking for your broom, couldn't find it anywhere. She had hidden it in her bedroom closet way in the back because you had asked her to sweep up something that she had spilled on the floor. And so I guess she figured, just like a child would do, let me hide this so that I never have to sweep the floor again. That's the rationale.
No, but I haven't had one to exceed the day that she took the car. That was by far the worst. Here I am, town square with my mom, grieving my girlfriend's mother had transitioned. I'm trying to get 17 ladies to a Cirque performance. And I said, okay, well, please call me back, verify the number of tickets that we need. And I decided to try the Tivana tea. And so the security guard, my mom, and I all tried the tea. We all agreed that this tea was great.
So wait a minute. So you were in town square. You drove to this place. You and your mom was in the passenger seat, and you were
parked in front of Tivana,
okay,
the tea shop.
And so you both were outside of the car at that point?
No, we're still sitting in the car.
Oh, okay.
So the security guy was walking by, and I asked him, had he tried the teas for the day? If anyone knows anything about Tivana, they typically have a kiosk out front, and you can sample the teas.
Oh, okay.
So they have 3 teas for the day. You try them, and I encourage you to come in and buy. So I decided that I was going to buy the tea. I got out of the car, left my mother in the car. The car is off, but the keys are in the car. No one's in Tivana. I purchased the tea, and I turn around, and there's this open space outside the door. The reality is that
minutes.
Yes, my car is gone. So I thought someone kidnapped my mother. And so I ran out, and I saw the security guy, and I said, did you see my mother? Did you see someone drive off with my mother? And he said, no. So he's calling up to his partners, telling them to look on the camera, calling Metro Police. Everybody's in a frenzy, only for them to tell me, just like Cox Cable, that as soon as I got out of the car, my mother got out of her door, walked around the back of the car, got in, and took off in my car. Now, for those of you who are not aware, they have this thing called a gizmo. It was designed for children that were going to school. They're latchkey kids. And so I have one from my mother because it has GPS on it, and I can call it. So immediately I started GPSing it, and it told me, oh, she was not far away. So the Tivana manager decided that since her employee had just arrived, she would take me down to that area. Okay, so we get in the car and we run down the street. No car, no gizmo. I'm certain the gizmo should be on the floor. Someone's kidnapped my mother, because I'm still not abreast of the fact that she took the car. So eventually I kept calling it, and my mother, the gizmo answers automatically. It answered, and she says, Mom, where are you? You need to come get me. Well, certainly I do. But where are you? So she's describing where what location she's in. The officer and I have no idea what she's describing. The street doesn't make any sense. They're putting it all in on the maps. They can't find it. So eventually we had to describe how to turn on the flashers on the car, which she did. And then someone came up, and I said, please don't take the little gizmo off your arm. Let me talk to the person. She was literally 4 or 5 blocks from my house. She had stopped at a stop sign, and the light bulb came back on that she was lost because she had not had a driver's license in 20 years. She didn't have insurance. So you can't imagine the emotions that I went through.
And she's new here in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
How did she know? She's never, ever, ever driven here before.
Like a child that's in the car watching. My son used to say, Mommy, this isn't the way to Terry's house. She lives over there. He could tell me what way to turn. And she was watching, and she said some nice couple gave her that car so she could go home. She had forgotten in a matter of a minute that I was in the store, that we were together. So the Las Vegas police had to contact the Henderson police and have a helicopter officer go and hover over the car until they could drive me from Las Vegas to Henderson, where she was located. The icing on the cake is when I get out of the car and I can finally sigh of relief, and the officer is reprimanding. You never want to hear that. You never want to see this situation, because when they get to be old farts, they get to this age, they don't discreetly say, they just spew out stuff out of their mouth. So the officer's reprimanding her, and she said, I don't need this crap. I've had a long day. Can we go home now? And I said, so there. She told you. Well, let's go home now, mother. It's
just amazing. I mean, geez, yeah. Your mother's gone all like of just not even 3 minutes later after you go in and come back out. It's the same scary thing like when you think you can leave your child in the car while you go and pay for your gas and they're strapped in. You know, I mean, as moms of small children, for many years of all that strapping in and out of the car seat, oh, that's so cumbersome. So if you can ever just run in quickly and run back out, you're kind of going to do that because otherwise you're unstrapping two children from the car seat just to go in and pay for something for a few minutes. So it's understandable that happened where you thought it was okay to go. I guess in hindsight, you'll always take the keys with you though, but it's just the thought of what to do and how often that happens to people.
Fellow caretakers, this is what you do. You put your keys to your bag and you put your bag in your room. You never, ever, ever leave your keys and things that people with dementia can take. So you need to save yourself. Your cell phone, your keys, in your bag. Man, I can't help you. You only have a pocket. You better have a big pocket.
Fanny pack.
And put all your stuff in there. Yes.
Yeah, so that's a good tip because a lot of people will leave their keys in, like a dish on the hallway table. You cannot do that any longer. You cannot leave those keys out hanging on a hook by a door. You cannot. Too many times it's been, you hear on the news, Grandpa got away and he's roaming the streets somewhere, doesn't have a coat on and it's cold outside. And so we're constantly having this conversation and it's opening my eyes for sure. And how do we get the message out there to others? Who aren't in this position yet, but are you preparing for it? One of the things you have to do is help downsize your parents' stuff. Now that's a big passion of mine. I tell you, if I weren't a writer, I would be a professional organizer. Because
come over and take care of the house.
After I finished with my brothers, that I was in Ohio doing for quite a while, and I still got to go back when it's time for them to actually move. But yeah, I love doing it. It's therapy to me, and it's helpful to others. But when I look at the stuff people have, tons of stuff. Now I have stuff too. My stuff is organized.
Looking at your organized magnets. I have collected magnets over the years, and when I got to about 100 of them, I thought, I have lost my mind.
Wow.
Because you ask people to bring you a little something from this place or that place, and I said, and eventually, the mound starts growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, and you travel a lot, so even you getting your own magnets.
So no,
someone else getting them.
No more magnets for me. But if I can't tell you anything else, I will say that if you have not been having this conversation with your parents in preparation and anticipation of the day that they will not be able to take care of themselves. And for some people, it's not going to be a slow, snail pace. It's going to be a dramatic drop off the edge of the earth. I said, your life is going to change, and what was your norm is no longer your norm, because the simple thing of putting your keys on the table, being able to leave food items, they go away. So you have to be able to throw away, give away, gift away out of your own house in anticipation of the day that your parent or parents will be moving in with you.
Yeah. It's going to happen either. We're not wishing it on anybody and not trying to speak it out there in the universe, but
it's in the universe. You don't have to speak it.
It's out there. It is out there. And if your parents do live long enough, they will need care. maybe not due to Alzheimer's or dementia, but they may need care. If they're 100 and something years old, they're going to need some assistance. And there's those few 1% that can just live. And like my grandmother did not want to live with anyone. She stayed in her own house until she passed. However, she had to have that necklace because she would fall a lot, and the paramedics had to come. She had to have gadgets and stuff to help her along. But we have to have this conversation as baby boomers. We have to have this conversation because financially, are we ready? Do we have $3 million sitting off somewhere that will feed us the income that we need if you're just using the interest alone to live off of after you've retired and you're taking care of your aging parent?
Many of us will not have it.
No, many of us will not. I don't know. Not right now. I'm going to because I'm making a plan. You have to put a plan in action. Get a plan and act on it. And it's never too early. If you're in your 30s, you should be doing this. But we are in our late 50s, and it's almost too late. That ship is...
It's not too late. We're going to make it to 90.
Almost. I said almost. I mean, as far as prepping. Yeah, we're going to live. But as we were talking about the psychological part of all of this, and this is why I am so passionate about journaling, and I will be somehow incorporating a journaling workshop in all of this, is that our parents have so much stuff because of the era in which they grew up, the post-World War II era, that they now have this mattress under the money mentality and this hoarding mentality, whether it's clothes that are in their closet with price tags on it even, meaning they didn't need it, but it's a status thing for them to be able to buy it and have these things. Or if it's household items and gadgets or things that just make them feel something or accomplished. They help them feel accomplished. And then when you try to help them get rid of it, oh my goodness, there's a struggle there. I've had several friends and relatives who have attempted to no avail. It's caused great tension.
Because in their heart, they feel like it's worth more than what it's worth. But the reality is...
Receipts from 1990s. They still hold on to receipts. There's no value in that. But how? It's just something up here that needs to be contended with. What could be of value from the 90s? Now, I have some things that I keep as like time capsule kind of things.
She has all these books. I remember the day when I left Chicago, and I had all those books, and the shipper came by, and he told me it was going to cost like $700 for all these hardback books. I thought I was going to have a library. And when you told me that, I was like, oh no, I have to sell those.
Like, okay, time to go. So, I know. You should see how many I gave away and sold and gave the bill. I don't think I sold them this time coming out. I haven't had a garage sale in quite some years. But yeah, I got rid of a bunch of them. And ones mainly I got rid of word novels. That's why when it came time for me to say, okay, self-care means settling down with a good book, a good novel, something I very seldom do. And then I started looking, I'm like, I don't have any novels. But yeah, there are things that we have to get in the mindset of downsizing. So we just thought we put this little video together, and we're going to be ending it soon. I don't know how long we've been going on it, but we could talk about this forever. But we want to help others, and I know others of you who are watching this. You're not alone. You're not alone. If you're trying to help you, in fact, on my way home from Ohio, I'm sitting on the airplane next to this young lady and her little child, and I was guessing that she was, based on our brief conversation, that she was probably in her late 30s. And I just, thought, well, let me ask her anyway, because I've been surveying folks. And I asked her, I said, I know your parents are probably a little younger than the age of where they're, going into geriatric issues and such. And I said, but have you and your brother, she told me she has one brother, have you and your brother had the talk with your parents? about how to prepare and get their house in order and all that. And downside, she's like, oh my goodness. She's like, funny, you should ask. She's like, we have been trying to get them, and we've said we don't want your stuff. And I'm like, that's exactly what the basis of what I'm, the premise of all of this is that parents, we don't want your stuff. And so she was saying her brother is like really like the adventurous traveler, surfer and hot air balloon kind of guy. He certainly doesn't want it. Still single and all that. She has, she's settled down with her husband and a child in the house and all that, but she's still working full time as a teacher. She doesn't have the time to go and take care of all that stuff. And so she was saying how her mother had just called her the other day and was so proud of herself that she got rid of 5 bags of stuff, to Goodwill or whatever, 5 bags. And she had to just laugh but then she thought, wow, well, that's an accomplishment for her. I'll take that. Yay. Yay.
But just remember that if you don't start now, eventually it's going to fall in your lap.
Yeah.
And it's going to be just like Hurricane Florence. Yeah, it's going to be like Hurricane Florence.
It's just you gotta have that conversation. So we would love to have your comments. Reach out to us. We'll put some contact information around this video. We've got to start the conversation, and then we have to start the journaling about it. Writing Out the Storm is the name of my website for a reason, because there's a storm brewing in there. There's, like you just mentioned, the Florence hurricane. There's a storm brewing inside of us that is keeping us from just zooming straight forward to success or to achieving the goals. And a lot of times it's because of clutter.
Oh, yeah.
The clutter in our house equals the clutter in our brain, equals the clutter in our relationships, equals the clutter in our goal.
Can you take care of my clutter over here to start talking?
Yeah, I probably need to come and assess your clutter.
Yes.
Yeah, and perhaps do a video if you don't mind showing some of your clutter. We'll do a video.
I did a great job before my mother moved in, and now after I moved her stuff in there, I felt claustrophobic. I had to get rid of it. So till we meet again.
Okay, folks, let us know, how are you handling your stuff? Because nobody wants your stuff when you're ready to leave this earth. Your children don't want your stuff. If you don't have children, your parents, your relatives, your
dog don't want your stuff.
Your boo does not want your stuff. Yeah, your dog, your cat doesn't want your stuff. Where is your stuff going? Let's talk about it. Let's get rid of it. Let's do something now. All right. Bye-bye. Peace and clutter free.